Hi and welcome to a new video. Today I'll be talking about the new 1.17 snapshot. I'll be showing some build tricks and build ideas that you can use for the new 1.70 blocks and items. But first I'm just gonna show you some changes they did and all the new stuff they added. The first change I wanted to show was the new textures for the ores, or especially for the coal ore, the iron ore, the redstone ore, and the gold ore. So they all looked the same before, just with different colors, but now they have all different textures, and I think that's great. It looks way better. And also here you can see the copper ore. It's a totally new ore from 1.17. I think it's a great addition. It hasn't got that many uses yet, but I think it will get more later. So next thing is the amethyst. There is an amethyst block, budding amethyst block, and different sizes of amethyst crystals. All these three things you will be able to find in amethyst geode, but not only that, you will also find the calcite block, this white block here, and the tough block. I think these two blocks look amazing because there are more textures for gray and more textures for white. Calcite, this white one, it works really good with diorite, and the tough block just works good with other stones. This here is the dripstone block and dripstone. I first wasn't so sure if it fit in Minecraft so well, but after the dripstone block was added, I think if it's quite good, you can make really good looking caves with it, and it also has quite a few cool mechanics. Next up is Grimstone. There are quite a bit of different types of Grimstone. You can manufacture it to chiseled Grimstone, block Grimstone bricks, polished Grimstone, and also chiseled Grimstone. You can also make a stair, slab, or wall out of all of these different types except for the chiseled one. So there's a lot of new darker blocks, and they just give a lot of texture, and I think they look quite cool. So next up is copper. Copper is a really interesting, cool block, and I think it will be one of my favorite blocks when 1.17 finally fully comes out. So there is just copper block, and there's cut copper stairs, and a cut copper slab. From all of these blocks, there are also different types of oxidation levels. So if you leave this block out in the open and you haven't waxed it, it will oxidize slowly, so it will be slightly oxidized, then oxidize even more, and then at the end stage it will be fully oxidized. And yeah, I think it's a cool mechanic, and it just generally looks cool, and I just have a lot of cool ideas I could use copper for. Next block is very interesting. It is the tinted glass. So this tinted glass first looks a little bit like normal glass, but it actually doesn't let any light through. It doesn't really make that much sense in a physical, if you think about the physics, but it is a cool function. If you see this hole, in the hole it is completely dark. If I break a glass block, it is light in there, but if I go into there and then close it off, I can still see through it, but it doesn't actually let any sunlight through. So it's completely dark down here, but it still can see through, and that is something cool. You could make so many cool things with it. I haven't got any very good ideas for it yet, but I think I might use it in many different ways in the future. So now I will come to the plants, and the first one is the moss block. It looks a little bit like grass, just more greenish, and it is green on all sides, so you can really use it for so many things. And you can also just texture normal grass and just spread some moss in it so it has more texture. There's so many things you can do with it. And then there's like a moss carpet. You can use that for also different things, because if you use a combination of grass, moss blocks, and moss carpet, you can make very nice textures. It would just look so much better than just plain grass. So here we're to the drip leaf plants. Here's the small drip leaf plant. It can only grow in water. So here it is in the water. It's 2 blocks tall, and yeah, it's a cool addition for ponds, but not much else to say. Here is the big drip leaf. You can actually stand on it, but it will let you fall down. And if you use bone meal on it, it grows. It can get, I think, 15 blocks tall. But yeah, that's a cool new addition. If you stand on it for too long, you fall down. So the next one is the glow lichen. And as the name suggests, it glows. So let me just put it to night, and you can see the slight glow of the glow lichen. Also, I forgot to tell you something. The amethyst also glows. If you look back there, the amethyst also has like a slight light level, and I think that's quite a cool addition. So amethyst geodes have a slight glow to them that really works good in caves. I will show that later. And now we can move on to the next things. So here is a rooted dirt block. And rooted dirt is, I know it seems kind of unnecessary, but it looks cool, so it isn't so unnecessary. And it goes with the roots. You can place the roots on rooted dirt and stones, so you can use it in caves very well again. This is the Caves and Cliffs update after all. And yeah, not much more to say about them. It's just cool addition. It looks cool, but not really much else. The next thing I wanted to show you all is the Spore Blossom. I think it looks really cool, and it has a particle effect. It drips down, so that makes a lot of atmosphere, and I really like that. But not only that, you can actually see it glow at night or in caves, and that also adds even more atmosphere. So I really like how many things glow in this update, so caves aren't as dark and just look generally better, in my opinion. Next up is the candle, and I think it's a really big addition. And you can just build so many things and make so many things look better with a candle instead of a torch. So I'm really happy they added this. You can have candles in all different sorts of colors, as you can see here. And you can also put up to 4 candles on a block, and the more candles are in a block, the higher light level it gives off. And not much more to it, just looks really cool, and you can use it for a lot of stuff. So I think it's also a great addition, as many other things. Mainly it is good for builders like me. And here is the lightning rod. You make it out of copper, and it also just works really good with many other things. I am not so interested in the use, but I am very interested in all the build ideas that you can use it for, and I will show quite a few of those in just a minute. Because before we gonna get to the build ideas, I just want to show a really cool mechanic that has been added. I actually didn't have a good build idea for this, but I just thought it was quite an interesting idea. So as you can see here, this is not snow. This is actually powdered snow, and you sink into it. If you are in the powdered snow too long in survival, you start taking damage. So it's an interesting idea for traps. And the only way how you don't sink into the powdered snow is if you wear leather boots, and that's an interesting idea they had at Mojang, because Now leather boots have a use, and I don't know if you will wear leather boots because of that in the future. But it's just an interesting mechanic, and it just changes up the game a little bit. Okay, now we finally can get into the build ideas and just what I came up with. And so first I just gonna start with some interior decoration. I had many ideas with the lightning rod and the candles. So first I made a candle holder with 2 lightning rods, then 2 with on the lightning rod and an acacia fence. I just think the colors work really good, the acacia fence and lightning rod. Then I just made a very simple one with 2 end rods, and then I made 2 smaller ones, or the first one is a candle holder, just a lightning rod, and then this one I like quite a bit because it looks like a long candle. And the particle effects from the lightning rod also look like there's wax dripping down, and I really like that. And here are just a few candles. Yeah, you can just put them down on a table and it looks nice as well. Here I have 2 chandeliers. Again, I use the combination of acacia fence and lightning rods. Here I just used some lanterns, and here I used candles. Also, you can use a lightning rod, very good for a grandfather clock. And the last 2 things is just a normal bush. And the last interior, but you can also use it on the outside of a house. It's just a lightning rod and 2. You could use any leaves, but I use the azuli leaves, I think. And I think this looks quite nice because it looks like a bush. And yeah, that's what I came up with for the interior decoration. So the next thing I built is like this cave cut in the middle, and I have like 3 sections. The first one is earthy and has rooted dirt, coarse dirt, normal dirt, dripstone blocks, and dripstone, and I think it just has a nice feel. I also added some candles because I just wanted all of these caves to have a slight glow. The second part is the amethyst cave, and the glow comes from the amethyst. I also added diorite, calcite, and tuff. I think those 3 go quite nice with each other. And the last cave is the lush cave. Here I added a lot of new plants, the small drip leaf, the glow lichen, and many of these plants glow, so this also has already nice lighting. And I really like this update because there's so many new things to the underground. Here's the next build. The main part is the copper roof, and I think the copper really works well with prismarine and this sandstone because you can detail it more with these sandstone walls. And I also have again a lightning rod at the top. Yeah, there's not much more to say to the roof. I think you can really do so many cool new things with the copper blocks, and I am already quite excited what I will come up with. I also made this walkway with the Grimstone blocks, and I used a build trick here for the candles. These levers connect quite nice with the candles, and also a nice little trick that I thought of. The next part is a Nether Portal design. I think the Grimstone blocks work really well with the Blackstone and the Basalt. So Grimstone is just great for a Nether themed build, and this is what I came up with. It's okay. I'm not so proud of it, but I think you can make way better things with it, and it just fits really well with the Basalt and Blackstone. And now the next part is just a little thing I thought of. When I saw the red candles, one of the first things I thought is like, that looks like dynamite. And here I just put it in a little like mine shaft and with some TNT. I mean, come on, the candles do look quite like dynamite. Now we're already at the last two builds, so here's more of an industrial idea I had. So it's like a reddish wall with bricks, granite, acacia wood, and copper blocks. I think those work quite well. They are a little bit, they stick out a little bit, but I think it's still fine. And I also added quite a few different of the new things, like the glow lichen on the walls and the small drip leaf in the water, but that's it. I just think the copper generally works really good with industrial style stuff, and here I tried to demonstrate it. This is already the last build, and it just was a little trick or idea I had. You can use the candles as stems for melon and pumpkins, and if you also use sea pickles for stems, you can just mix it up and add quite a lot of detail to your builds. And this already was my little list of ideas and inspiration I had for this new update. So I hope you liked it, and if you want more to see more in the future of this, then like and subscribe, and yeah. Hopefully I see you in the next video. Bye.